Salams and welcome. I'm going to give you some hints on note-taking strategies in secret study tip number 47. If you're in a lecture room, for example, at medical school, for doctors, we have to learn so much information, and there's so much information packed into that 45-minute lecture, one hour lecture, that it is amazing how much information the lecturer takes out. And for that, you need to write very, very fast. And because you cannot write every single word, you need to use a lot of abbreviations, right? So for abbreviation for W, if you have to use the word with, we use a W. And there's so many other abbreviations that we use. So note-taking strategy. In the Cornell notes, you divide the page into cues, into notes, and into summary sections, right? And these cues will tell you what is happening next. And the notes, those are the personal notes that you make and summary parts. The outline method, I prefer the outline method because the outline method gives you an overall bird's eye view of that entire topic. You use your headings, and I'm a list type of person, so I like to put headings, and then I like to put bullet points like this. There's a bullet point, 1 bullet point, 2 bullet point, 3 bullet. So I prefer this outline here. So I don't know if you prefer the Cornell notes, but I prefer the outline method. I like to have bright headings. That's why you see here also I use a blue color here, and then I use red here, and then I use little square bullet points here on the side, right? Because I like everything to be organized and systematic in my brain. So for me, I find that the outline method works perfectly for me because that organizes your thinking hierarchically, right? Use abbreviations and symbols to write faster. And as doctors, we used to write so fast, and that is why many doctors' writing becomes like scribbling, because as the lecturer is talking, you got to put pen to paper and you got to write so fast. And then well-organized notes are valuable review tools. And you must remember, even if that notes that you write, it can look like a scribble, but because you have written it in your own handwriting, and because that is your own writing pad or your own book in which you made the notes, that is a very powerful stimulation for your brain. Because then when you go home, then you will see your own writing, and you're reading your own writing. You fix up some of the words where the scribbling may not be too well understood, because you must do it the same day. So that evening you come home, you fix up the notes. You don't have to rewrite everything. Well, some students, what they used to do, they used to go home and rewrite the entire notes very neatly. But in today's time, you can even type it up as well onto your laptop. But in those days, we had to rewrite it again by hand, and then you fix up all the errors and you make highlighted points. And from there, immediately that same evening, you make your flashcards. You make your summary notes, because at the end of the year, you're going to need those flashcards, right? So note taking is very, very important. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.